So we have social justice warriors and an NFL quarterback who refuses to stand for the national anthem because of the social injustice ways of how a certain ethnicity and race is being treated in this country, almost exclusively by the police. Please understand this. In the 16 years that I have been involved in law enforcement, not at one roll call, not at one specific officer, not on one special team, not on one such search warrant, not on a call, on a traffic stop, on an arrest, on a meet and greet, on a donut coffee break, on a school meeting with the kids and saying hi, on a counseling session with somebody. Has there ever been a witnessed moment of racism by me? Racism, as defined, is not bigotry. Racism is an action by a specific group specifically designed to oppress the advancement of another group. So basically, when people cry outrage over the police being a racist organization, they are saying the police single-handedly have the power to oppress Group A or Group B or Group C or whatever. Bigotry is no different than why I choose to like pizza versus friggin' hot dogs, or why I like blondes versus brunettes, or why I like basketball versus football. It's a preference. It's ignorance. It's a negative connotation, but it's a preference based on somebody's their education, their upbringing, their environmental exposure. Bigotry is unescapable in every single one of us. But guess what? Human beings can function with bigotry, with bias, with opinions. To date, hands down, the single most oppressed, discriminated against, blackballed, back turned on against group in the United States is the American police officer. Period. No single other group in this country is more singled out, is more referenced for unjusted wrongdoings, unproven wrongdoings, falsehoods, lies, media spun bullshit, and the cops put up with it. There is not in my entire career of law enforcement a single witnessed moment of racism. But the issue is, it's so much easier to swallow a pill when you're a victim and you've been ingrained with a doctrine of, oh, this fantasy must be a reality because everybody around me says it exists. This bullshit will never stop because people need it to separate us, and it is the modern day slavery on both sides. All of us are captive. All of us are in our own shackles, in our heads, unable to break out because neither side wants to. You know why? Because we can't identify the common enemy. The common enemy is each other. And it's stupid and ridiculous when you got an NFL quarterback making millions of dollars a year talking about the oppression of a certain people, which he has every right to do, but not when you're the employee of an organization, because that organization then condoned those views. The NFL, how dare you? You let Beyonce Knowles with her racist propaganda on your halftime show. You let the St. Louis Rams march out on a falsehood lie. You won't let the Dallas Cowboys represent the heroes in your own town. And now you support a man whose privilege in this country fought and given to by the men and women who died in this country. You let him just disrespect them just because something's right or allowed. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's right. Look, racism doesn't exist. Bigotry, hate, absolutely. But if you are an educated person, you will look at the statistics out there. You will swallow them as truths because they are. Don't say that one group, specifically as blacks, are being disproportionately represented in these statistics because they're not. Swallow it, accept it, just like we as cops accept the role that we have, and we do account for our own. There is no blue wall of silence, just like there's no black wall of ignorance. Don't keep that black blindfold over your eyes, over your mouth, over your ears, on both parts. Both parties. all of us, and say that there is a problem that doesn't exist. To date, thanks to these camera phones, thanks to lawsuits, thanks to everything that's at risk, cops will not outwardly act on the intent of racism. They won't. Doesn't happen. And no law enforcement agency will accept the liability of somebody who's like that. They'll get rid of him before he can bat an eye. And start accepting the accountability and the responsibility of the men and women who choose to put themselves in the path of their own destiny. And if they're killed by a cop who had to use of force, guess what? It's their fault. And if you don't understand use of force, educate yourself. I'm so tired of this argument. I'm so tired of the men and women who are so much better than me that wear this uniform, who are being labeled as something that is not because of a careless, lazy, non-accountability, non-responsibility accepting, victim mindset point of view that everyone just doesn't want to get rid of. Everyone has a past. Every culture has a past. Every people has a past. Every individual has a past. And there's no going forward if we don't collectively embrace the present. I don't give a shit about the past that happened. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I know what's happening today. And if we don't take care of this together, we're all doomed. Knock it off. This is getting exhausting, tiresome, and it's just, you're crying wolf. There's no racism. I dare anybody to prove me different. Have a great day.